My chosen one, pause for a moment, because what I am about to reveal is not ordinary, not random, and not delayed. On May 3rd, Archangel Michael says something big is coming to you today, and it's because you didn't skip. Yes, you heard that correctly. There were thousands who saw this message, but you are the one still here. You did not scroll away. You did not ignore the nudge. You did not silence the whisper. And heaven noticed. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. Right now, in this very hour, Archangel Michael stands in spiritual authority, sword raised not in destruction, but in protection over your life. There has been a silent battle around you, one you could not see with your physical eyes. People who suddenly shifted their attitude. Opportunities that seemed to disappear at the last second. It was not random chaos. Something big is coming to you today. You thought your obedience was small. You thought your consistency was unnoticed. But every time you chose faith over fear, every time you stayed quiet instead of reacting, every time you prayed in, not just a date, is a divine appointment. Archangel Michael is speaking with urgency, because you did not skip. I will not skip you. Let that settle in your spirit. There are moments in life when heaven tests attention, not to trap you, but to position you. And today is proof that your attention activated something in the unseen realm. While others were distracted, you leaned in. While others doubted, you listened. While others mocked, you believed. That belief has triggered movement. Something big is coming, but it may not look how you expect. It could arrive as a phone call that shifts your direction, a message that opens a door, a sudden clarity in your mind that removes confusion, a release of financial pressure, a reconciliation you thought was impossible. It will feel sudden, but it has been prepared for a long time. Archangel Michael is declaring that what is arriving today is connected to a decision you made in private, a sacrifice no one applauded, a team no one wept away. Heaven recorded it all. Do you remember that moment when you almost gave up? When you said, "What is the point?" When you felt unseen? When you wondered if God had forgotten your address? That was the exact moment angels were dispatched. And now May 3rd stands as evidence that delay was never denial. But listen carefully, because this is crucial. The reason something big is coming is not just because you waited. It is because you did not skip your calling. You did not skip your integrity. You did not skip your growth. You stayed in the process even when it was uncomfortable. Archangel Michael says there was a test hidden in your timeline. Scrolling away would have symbolized agreement with distraction. Staying symbolizes agreement with destiny. And destiny is responding. You may feel a strange anticipation right now. A tension in your chest. A stirring in your spirit. That is not anxiety. That is alignment. Something in your world is rearranging. Doors that were locked are quietly being unlocked. Names are being mentioned in rooms you have never entered. Decisions are being made in your favor without your awareness. Heaven is moving pieces. But here is the deeper truth. What is coming is not just a blessing. It is a shift. A shift in identity. A shift in authority. A shift in how people perceive you. You have been underestimated, even by yourself. Archangel Michael says, prepare your heart. What is arriving will require courage. Because when big things come, they also bring responsibility. You asked for elevation. You asked for breakthrough. You asked for vindication, and heaven answered. But the answer requires readiness. May 3rd is the beginning of visible change. Today you may notice small confirmations, subtle but powerful. A repeated sign, a sudden peace, an unexpected opportunity. Do not dismiss it. It is connected. And understand this clearly. The enemy tried to exhaust you before this day, tried to make you too tired to receive, too bitter to believe, too distracted to notice. But you are still here. That is victory. Archangel Michael stands as guardian over this transition. His presence is not symbolic, it is strategic. Protection is surrounding what is about to enter your life so that it cannot be stolen. This is why your spirit felt pulled to this message. This is why you paused instead of scrolling. Heaven honors attention. And because you did not skip, something big refuses to skip you. Breathe deeply right now. Whisper within yourself, I am ready. Because what comes next will confirm everything you endured. This is only the beginning of what May 3rd is releasing over you. Beloved soul, something is shifting faster than you realize, and the reason it feels intense is because the unseen realm has accelerated its movement around you. When Archangel Michael declared that something big is coming to you today because you did not skip, it was not poetic language. It was a legal announcement in the spiritual realm. There are moments where heaven responds instantly to obedience, and this is one of those moments. You must understand what truly happened. When you stayed, when you listened, when you resisted the urge to scroll away, you were not just watching a message. You were aligning yourself with instruction. And instruction brings elevation. Many people want the reward, but they ignore the guidance. You, however, leaned in. That posture of attention has activated divine acceleration over your life. Right now, conversations are taking place about you that you cannot hear. Opportunities are being redirected in your favor. A delay that frustrated you is about to reveal itself as protection. Archangel Michael is standing as a warrior over the transition that is beginning today. His sword represents clarity cutting through confusion. His presence represents defense against unseen interference. Something big is coming, but it will not look dramatic at first. It may begin quietly. A sudden idea, a new confidence, an urge to take action where you were previously hesitant. Do not ignore that impulse. It is not random motivation. It is strategic direction. When heaven moves, it often whispers before it roars. You have felt stuck for a while. You have questioned your progress. You have wondered if your prayers were suspended in silence. But what you did not see was a resistance being pushed back on your behalf. There were forces attempting to discourage you before this day arrived. That heaviness you felt recently was not weakness. It was warfare. And you survived it. That survival is proof of strength. Archangel Michael says this breakthrough is connected to consistency. You did not quit when it was inconvenient. You did not compromise when it was tempting. You did not abandon your values when it would have been easier. That integrity has built spiritual authority around your life. And authority attracts increase. Today expect signs of movement. Watch how quickly certain doors open after long seasons of silence. Pay attention to who reaches out to you. Notice the sudden removal of confusion in areas where you felt lost. These are not small things. They are evidence of alignment. But here is something deeper. This blessing is not only about you. It is about the people connected to you. When God lifts one person, the ripple touches many. Your breakthrough will become someone else's testimony. Your elevation will become someone else's hope. That is why the resistance was so strong. What is coming to you carries influence. And let me say this clearly, do not shrink when it arrives. You have been trained in quiet seasons for public responsibility. You have been strengthened in private for visible impact. Archangel Michael is not just guarding your blessing, he is guarding your courage. Because when something big comes, fear tries to whisper that you are not ready. You are ready. If this message is stirring something inside you, if you feel that confirmation rising in your spirit, then do not keep it to yourself. Like this video so that it reaches others who are on the edge of their breakthrough. Share it with someone who had been feeling delayed but not denied. Comment below what you are expecting on May 3rd, because declaring expectation is an act of faith. Subscribe to this channel if you have not already, because these messages are not random uploads. They are timely spiritual alerts. Join the membership if you feel called to go deeper and stand with this mission consistently. There is power in agreement. When you engage, you are not just supporting a channel. You are amplifying a message that may be the answer to someone's silent prayer. And before you move on, lean closer in your spirit. What comes next will reveal why this specific day carries such weight for you. The connection between your past endurance and today's arrival is about to become unmistakably clear. Hold that anticipation, because the revelation unfolding will confirm that nothing you endured was wasted. Faithful one, there is a reason your spirit feels alert right now, almost as if something unseen is standing very close to you. That awareness is not imagination. It is confirmation. Archangel Michael is speaking again, and this time his message carries weight, authority, and a divine seal. What is coming to you on May 3rd is not a random blessing drifting through the air. It is a response. It is a reward. It is a release. You must understand the timing. There are days that pass like ordinary pages in a calendar, and then there are days that divide your life into before and after. This is one of those dividing lines. You have been in a season where it felt like everything required extra effort. Conversations felt heavy. Decisions felt complicated. Even small tasks felt draining. You questioned your strength quietly. You wondered why simple things suddenly felt difficult. That pressure was not punishment. It was preparation. Archangel Michael says the weight you carried was building spiritual muscle. Heaven does not assign greater territory to someone who has not been tested in smaller battles. Every delay refined you. Every disappointment sharpened your discernment. Every closed door strengthened your patience. You thought you were losing time, but you were gaining resilience. And now resilience is about to meet opportunity. Something big is coming because you proved you could be trusted with it. You did not become bitter. You did not let frustration define your character. Even when you felt overlooked, you chose growth over gossip, discipline over distraction, prayer over panic. Those choices formed a foundation under your feet. May 3rd is not about luck. It is about alignment. Archangel Michael reveals that there was a spiritual audit over your life, not to condemn you, but to measure your readiness. And you passed. You passed in the quiet moments. You passed in the unseen sacrifices. You passed when no one applauded your obedience. This is why heaven says, release it to them. What is being released may show up as restoration. A relationship that seemed fractured may subtly soften. A financial blockage may loosen. A creative idea you buried may rise again with clarity and direction. Or it may be something deeply personal, an inner peace you have not felt in years. Do not underestimate inner peace. Sometimes the biggest miracle is not external gain, but internal freedom. Archangel Michael stands as guardian over this transfer. The reason he speaks so firmly today is because what is arriving cannot be contaminated by doubt. You must receive it boldly. You must welcome it confidently. If fear whispers that it is too good to be true, silence that voice immediately. Fear tries to disqualify what faith has already secured. There is also warning hidden inside this blessing. When something big comes, distractions attempt to compete for your attention. You will be tempted to overthink. You will be tempted to question whether you deserve it. You will be tempted to analyze every detail. Resist that urge. Receive first. Understand later. Because this is not the result of human calculation. It is divine orchestration. Some of you will see movement within hours. Others will see confirmation within days. But the shift begins today. The atmosphere around your life has changed. If you listen closely, you can sense it. There is less heaviness. There is more clarity. There is a subtle but undeniable momentum. That is not coincidence. Archangel Michael declares that the season of silent endurance is closing. The season of visible evidence is opening. People who underestimated you will quietly observe your rise. Situations that once intimidated you will no longer hold the same power. And here is the deeper truth. You almost missed this. Not because heaven hesitated, but because discouragement tried to disconnect you. Yet you stayed. You watched. You listened. You did not skip. That single decision became a prophetic act. Right now, seal this moment. Declare it internally. Align your heart with what is being released. Do not treat this as entertainment. Treat it as instruction. When heaven speaks, it expects response. Type "I receive the shift" in the comments if this message is confirming what you feel in your spirit. Blessing code 503 has just been activated over your life. And as this shift begins, understand something powerful. When you sow attention into God's voice, you participate in spreading light. If this message is unlocking something inside you, then let your support become a seed that multiplies breakthrough in others. Scripture says, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not cease, and today that promise is alive and speaking over you. When you release a super thanks, join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description. You are not funding a channel. You are watering souls who are desperate for confirmation. This is your moment to say, I am part of this harvest. Do not hesitate when the Spirit prompts you. What you release today returns with increase. Step into obedience and sow boldly now. Chosen vessel, now that the shift has been spoken, you must understand what happens immediately after heaven releases a word over your life. There is always a moment of testing, not to cancel the blessing, but to confirm your alignment with it. Archangel Michael is very clear about this. What is coming to you on May 3rd carries weight, and weight requires stability. You may notice something unusual today. Right after feeling peace, a small wave of doubt may attempt to enter your mind. Right after sensing excitement, a sudden distraction may try to steal your focus. This is not a sign that the message is false. It is evidence that the message is powerful. Whenever something significant is about to manifest, opposition attempts one last whisper. Do not entertain it. Archangel Michael stands firm in this hour, declaring that your mind must remain guarded. His presence around you is not passive. It is active protection. He is shielding your clarity from confusion and your expectation from negativity. But you must cooperate. Protection works best when you refuse to open the door to fear. Something big is forming, and formation often feels invisible before it becomes visible. Think about a seed beneath the soil. For days, nothing appears on the surface. But underneath, roots are stretching, structures are forming, strength is developing. If someone judged the seed too early, they would assume nothing is happening. Yet everything is happening. That is your current position. You may not see dramatic fireworks yet, but do not mistake silence for stagnation. There is movement under the surface of your circumstances. Archangel Michael reveals that certain barriers that blocked you last month no longer have authority to stand. They are dissolving quietly. What is different now is your readiness. In previous seasons, you asked for change but feared responsibility. You prayed for increase but hesitated when opportunity appeared. You desired elevation but doubted your capacity. This time is different. The endurance you built has strengthened your inner foundation. That is why May 3rd is significant. It marks the moment when readiness meets release. There is also something else you must hear carefully. The blessing coming to you is not random. It is tailored. It addresses a specific prayer you whispered when you thought no one was listening. It connects to a private tear you wiped away in silence. Heaven did not ignore those moments. They were recorded. Archangel Michael says your obedience has created divine momentum. Momentum is powerful because once it begins, it is difficult to stop. Small wins will lead to larger victories. One open door will lead to another. One courageous decision will create a chain reaction of favor. But you must move when instructed. When the idea comes, act. When the opportunity appears, step forward. When reconciliation becomes possible, initiate peace. When clarity replaces confusion, do not delay. This is not the time for hesitation. This is the time for bold, but wise movement. You may also notice a shift in how people respond to you. Those who once overlooked your voice may begin to seek your opinion. Those who dismissed your potential may start recognizing your value. Do not let pride rise when this happens. Stay grounded. Remember who carried you through the quiet season. Archangel Michael emphasizes humility because humility preserves blessings. Pride exposes them. There is a strengthening happening in your identity. You are beginning to see yourself differently, not as someone struggling to survive, but as someone prepared to lead. That identity shift is part of the something big that is arriving. External change follows internal transformation. And here is a truth that may surprise you. The breakthrough you are stepping into will close certain chapters permanently. Some connections will fade. Some habits will lose their appeal. Some environments will no longer feel comfortable. Do not grieve what cannot follow you into elevation. Growth requires separation. Archangel Michael assures you that what leaves creates space for what aligns. Trust that process. Even if certain exits feel uncomfortable, they are necessary for expansion. Right now, take a deep breath and evaluate your posture. Are you open? Are you expectant? Are you willing to embrace responsibility along with blessing? Because something big does not arrive casually. It arrives with intention. May 3rd is not ending. It is unfolding. You are stepping into a window where your actions matter more than ever. To be carefully. Decide wisely. Respond calmly. The atmosphere around you is sensitive to your faith. Every word you declared either strengthens alignment or invites delay. Choose alignment. Archangel Michael remains positioned as protector and witness over this transition. He is not announcing something big only to leave you unsupported. He is walking with you into it. The sword of protection is still raised. The shield of clarity is still extended. The question now is not whether something big is coming. The question is how you will carry it. Because what is forming around you is preparing to reveal itself sooner than you think. Precious one, There is a sacred tension in the air right now. It feels like standing at the edge of something vast, something life-altering, something that will not allow you to remain the same. That feeling is not pressure. It is transition. Archangel Michael is revealing that what began as a whisper is now becoming movement. You may have noticed subtle confirmations since this message began. A sudden memory resurfacing. A conversation aligning perfectly with what you needed to hear. A door that seemed permanently closed showing signs of life again. These are not random coincidences. They are signals. They are indicators that the unseen shift is stepping into visible form. But here is what many do not realize. When something big is about to manifest, your perception becomes crucial. If you are distracted, you may overlook the entry point. If you are doubtful, you may question the blessing when it arrives. If you are fearful, you may hesitate at the very doorway meant for you. Archangel Michael says this is not the hour for hesitation. The reason something big is coming is not only because you did not skip. It is because you stayed attentive long enough to be trusted with clarity. Attention is spiritual discipline. It proves hunger, and hunger attracts provision. There was a version of you months ago that would not have handled this elevation well. That version was still wounded by rejection. That version was still defined by past disappointment. That version would have self-sabotaged out of insecurity. But you are not that version anymore. Growth has quietly transformed you. You endured misunderstanding without exploding. You faced delay without collapsing. You experienced silence without abandoning faith. That inner stability is the foundation required for what is arriving now. Archangel Michael reveals that this blessing is layered. The first layer may appear practical. It may solve a tangible problem. It may relieve a burden that has weighed on your shoulders. But beneath that practical layer is something deeper. There is restoration of confidence. There is restoration of identity. There is restoration of belief in your own calling. For too long, you questioned whether you truly heard God correctly about your life. You doubted your direction. You wondered if your dreams were unrealistic. But May 3rd stands as a divine correction. It confirms that the vision placed in your heart was not fantasy. It was prophecy. Something big is not random opportunity. It is alignment with your original design. Archangel Michael stands as guardian over that design. He is not just protecting your circumstances. He is protecting your destiny. The reason attacks intensified before this day is because destiny was approaching visibility. The closer you move toward fulfillment, the louder discouragement tried to speak. Yet you remained. That endurance is why heaven says, release it now. You must also prepare for emotional adjustment. When blessings arrive after long waiting, they can feel overwhelming. Relief may bring tears. Validation may bring shock. Doors opening may bring unexpected responsibility. Do not be alarmed if your emotions feel heightened. It is natural when pressure finally lifts. Allow yourself to receive without guilt. There is no need to apologize for stepping into what you prayed for. There is no need to shrink so others feel comfortable. There is no need to downplay what God is doing in your life. Archangel Michael encourages confidence rooted in gratitude. Something else is happening simultaneously. While a door opens for you, a lesson closes behind you. You are no longer the person who tolerates less than you deserve. You are no longer the person who begs for recognition. You are no longer the person who doubts your worth. The chapter is sealed. May 3rd represents more than opportunity. It represents maturity. As this day unfolds, listen closely to your intuition. The Holy Spirit often communicates through gentle nudges rather than loud announcements. If you feel led to reach out to someone, do it. If you feel prompted to apply for something, do it. If you sense clarity about a decision you delayed, act on it. Movement advice memento. Archangel Michael's message is clear. What is coming requires participation. Heaven opens doors, but you must walk through them. Protection surrounds you, but you must step forward. And remember, the size of the blessing does not always match the size of the package. It may look simple at first glance. It may appear small compared to what you imagined. But do not judge too quickly. Seeds look insignificant until they grow into forests. Trust the process unfolding today. You did not skip. You did not disconnect. You did not surrender to distraction. Because of that, something big refuses to bypass you. Stay alert. Stay grateful. Stay bold. The next development in this unfolding story will reveal why the shift was timed so precisely for your life. Warrior of light. The atmosphere around you is no longer the same as it was even a few days ago. There is a thinning of resistance. There is a loosening of pressure. There is a quiet rearrangement happening behind the scenes, and Archangel Michael wants you to recognize it. When heaven announces that something big is coming because you did not skip, it also means the environment must shift to accommodate that arrival. You may begin to feel a new sense of urgency. Not panic, but purpose. Tasks that once felt optional now feel important. Conversations you postponed now feel necessary. Decisions you delayed now demand clarity. This is not stress. This is preparation energy. It is the internal signal that your next level is approaching. Archangel Michael reveals that timing is everything. If what is coming had arrived 6 months ago, you might have mishandled it. If it had arrived last year, you might have doubted it. But now, after endurance and refinement, you can carry it with wisdom. That is why May 3rd carries weight. It marks the intersection of readiness and release. There is also a cleansing happening in your life. Certain distractions are losing their grip. Certain temptations are becoming less appealing. Certain voices that once influenced you are fading into the background. Do not chase what is fading. Let it go. Growth requires space, and space is created when unnecessary attachments dissolve. Something big needs room. You must also guard your speech in this season. Words are seeds. If you speak doubt, you plant delay. If you speak faith, you plant acceleration. Archangel Michael emphasizes discipline in your declarations. Do not say, "This probably will not work." Do not say, "Things never change for me." Replace those patterns immediately. Say, "I am aligned." Say, "I am prepared." Say, "What is meant for me is arriving." Heaven responds to agreement. As movement increases, do not be surprised if some people react unexpectedly. Elevation often reveals hidden insecurities in others. Some will celebrate you. Others may distance themselves. Do not take it personally. Not everyone is assigned to walk with you into the next chapter. Archangel Michael stands as protector not only against visible opposition, but against subtle emotional manipulation. Remain steady. There is a deeper revelation unfolding. The reason something big is coming is not only to bless you but to reposition you. Your influence is expanding. Your voice carries more weight than you realize. Your obedience is creating ripples beyond your immediate circle. This breakthrough will not stop with you. It will impact family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers. That is why your attention mattered so much. When you chose not to skip, you chose engagement over indifference. Engagement activates purpose. Indifference delays it. You passed the test of focus, and now you are entering the reward of clarity. You may feel moments of excitement mixed with moments of nervousness. It is natural. Growth stretches comfort zones. But do not interpret nervousness as inability. It is simply the body adjusting to expansion. Archangel Michael assures you that you are covered. Protection surrounds your decisions. Favor accompanies your steps. Wisdom is available when you ask. There is no need to rush recklessly, but there is also no permission to shrink. As you continue listening, take a moment to engage actively. Like this message if it confirms what you are sensing in your spirit. Share it with someone who has been on the edge of giving up, because they may need this exact reminder today. Write in the comments what you believe is shifting in your life. Declare it boldly. Subscribe if you have not already, because these moments of divine alignment are not accidents, they are assignments. And if you feel called to go deeper, step into membership and stand consistently with this movement of faith. Your engagement is not just digital interaction, it is spiritual agreement. And before you move forward, lean in carefully. The next revelation will expose why certain battles intensified right before this day. It will connect the dots between past resistance and present release in a way that changes how you see everything you endured. Stay attentive, because what is about to be uncovered will make you grateful you held on just a little longer. Anointed listener, now you are ready to understand why the battles intensified right before May 3rd. It was not random pressure. It was strategic resistance. Whenever heaven prepares to elevate someone, opposition attempts to exhaust them first. The goal of that exhaustion is simple: to make you surrender voluntarily before the blessing arrives. Think back to the last few weeks. The unusual frustration, the emotional heaviness that seemed to come from nowhere, the misunderstandings that drained your energy, the sudden self-doubt that tried to question everything you believed about your future. None of that was accidental. Archangel Michael reveals that those moments were the final attempt to weaken your expectation. Because expectation is powerful. Expectation creates capacity, and capacity attracts manifestation. If your expectation had collapsed, you would not have recognized the opportunity when it arrived. But you held on. Even when you felt tired, you kept moving. Even when you felt unseen, you remained faithful. Even when you considered stepping back, something inside you refused to disconnect completely. Something was divine reinforcement. It was the quiet strength placed in you long before this season began. Archangel Michael says the resistance increased because the breakthrough was close. The closer you get to visible change, the louder discouragement becomes. It tries to convince you that nothing is happening. It tries to make you misinterpret silence as abandonment. It tries to distort your perception. But here is the truth: silence is often construction. While you were questioning progress, structures were forming in the unseen. While you were wondering why doors remained closed, keys were being shaped. While you were praying for clarity, clarity was being assembled piece by piece. Now the assembly is complete. Something big is not approaching slowly anymore. It is entering your space. And because of that, your awareness must remain sharp. Do not allow old thought patterns to return. Do not revisit narratives of failure. Do not rehearse past disappointments. Those chapters have served their purpose. Archangel Michael stands at the threshold of this new season like a guardian at a gate. His message is firm. You are crossing over. You are not standing at the door anymore. You are stepping through it. There may be a defining moment today that feels symbolic. It might be a conversation that changes your perspective. It might be a decision you finally feel confident making. It might be an unexpected confirmation that removes the last piece of doubt. When that moment happens, pause internally and recognize it. That is the marker. You must also prepare for responsibility. Blessings are not only gifts, they are assignments. When increase comes, stewardship is required. When favor appears, integrity must follow. When influence expands, character becomes even more important. You have been trained for this. Every time you chose patience instead of impulse, you strengthen your character. Every time you chose honesty instead of convenience, you strengthened your foundation. Every time you chose faith instead of fear, you strengthen your spiritual authority. Now authority meets opportunity. Archangel Michael emphasizes that humility will preserve what pride could destroy. As things begin to move in your favor, stay grounded. Remember who sustained you when nothing was visible. Remember the nights you prayed quietly. Remember the moments you almost quit but did not. Gratitude protects elevation. There is also restoration attached to this shift. Some of what is coming will correct past losses, not necessarily by reversing the exact situation, but by replacing what was taken with something better aligned. You may look back one day and realize that what you thought was rejection was redirection. This is why May 3rd matters. It marks the visible turning point. The tension you carried is dissolving. The confusion that clouded your decisions is clearing. The heaviness that lingered is lifting. Archangel Michael declares that clarity is your portion now. From this point forward, you will begin to see patterns differently. You will recognize connections more quickly. You will sense when to move and when to wait. This heightened discernment is part of the blessing. It is not just about external change. It is about internal upgrade. Something big is not only arriving around you, it is activating within you. Stay attentive. Stay receptive. Stay bold. Because the next unfolding will reveal how this single day sets the tone for the months ahead, and how what begins now will echo far beyond what you currently imagine. Favored one, what is unfolding now is deeper than a single breakthrough. It is a divine repositioning. You may have expected something dramatic and immediate, but Archangel Michael reveals that the true magnitude of what is coming will unfold in layers. The first layer gets your attention. The next layers transform your life. There is a spiritual recalibration happening within you. Old fears are losing authority. Old insecurities are weakening. Old narratives that told you this is as far as you can go are being dismantled. You are stepping into a wider space internally before you step into a wider space externally. This is intentional. Archangel Michael says heaven expands your capacity before it expands your territory. If the territory grows without inner expansion, pressure crushes you. But when your spirit grows first, pressure becomes power. Look at how differently you are responding now compared to previous seasons. Situations that once triggered anxiety now invite strategy. Conversations that once intimidated you now inspire clarity. Decisions that once confused you now feel manageable. This is growth evidence. Something big is coming because you have outgrown where you were. There is also restoration attached to this moment that you have not fully recognized yet. Some of you have been carrying disappointment from a door that closed unexpectedly. You invested time, emotion, and hope into something that did not survive. You questioned whether you misheard God. You wondered if you miscalculated. Archangel Michael reveals that what closed was necessary. It was not punishment. It was pruning. When a tree is pruned, it appears to lose something. But pruning redirects energy toward stronger growth. What you lost cleared the way for something aligned with your future, not your past. That is why May 3rd carries such precision. It marks the beginning of replacement. Replacement does not always look identical to what you imagined. It often surpasses it in ways you could not have planned. You may receive an opportunity that feels unfamiliar. You may encounter a connection that surprises you. You may discover a strength within yourself that you did not know existed. Do not reject newness because it feels different. Archangel Michael stands as guardian over this new terrain. His presence signifies protection not only from external interference but from internal sabotage. Self-doubt will try to whisper, "This is too much." Comparison will try to say, "Others are more qualified." Past failure will try to remind you of previous mistakes. Silence those voices. You are not stepping forward because you are perfect. You are stepping forward because you are prepared. There is a difference. As this shift continues, you may notice an increase in responsibility. More eyes may turn toward you. More decisions may require your input. More expectations may rest on your shoulders. This is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to elevate you. Remember, authority flows to those who can handle it without arrogance. Archangel Michael emphasizes balance. Rest when needed. Reflect when necessary. But do not retreat out of fear. This is not the hour to shrink back into comfort zones. This is the hour to stretch. Here is something else important. The blessing arriving is connected to your voice. Some of you will speak up in environments where you previously stayed silent. Some of you will share ideas that influence outcomes. Some of you will encourage others who are on the edge of giving up. Your voice carries weight now. That is part of the something big. It is not just material or situational. It is influential. Pause for a moment and recognize how far you have come. The version of you from last year would not recognize the strength you carry today. The mindset you hold now is evidence of transformation. And transformation attracts opportunity. Type "I am stepping forward" in the comments if you feel this expansion happening within you. Blessing code 888 has just been released as a sign of divine abundance aligning with your obedience. And as this expansion unfolds, understand that light must continue spreading. When you sow into this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a platform. You are fueling a river of encouragement that reaches hearts across nations. The word declares, "Give, and it shall be given unto you." And this is not theory. It is a living promise. When you say, "I will help carry this message," you partner with heaven's harvest. Do not hesitate in this moment of alignment. Release your seed as an act of faith, and watch how provision flows back to you in multiplied form. Step into this divine exchange now. The unfolding is not slowing down. It is accelerating. And what begins here will ripple further than you can currently see. Steadfast heart, by now you can sense that this is not just about one day on a calendar. What began on May 3rd is stretching beyond a single moment. It is becoming a season. Archangel Michael is revealing that what you are experiencing is a doorway into sustained momentum, not a temporary spark. There is a difference between a blessing that visits and a blessing that settles. What is coming to you is not passing through. It is establishing itself. That is why the preparation was so intense. That is why the resistance felt personal. That is why the refinement seemed never-ending. You were not being prepared for a moment. You were being prepared for maintenance. Maintenance requires maturity. Many people can receive increase, but few can sustain it. Sustaining requires discipline, humility, and consistency. Archangel Michael emphasizes that the strength you built in hidden seasons is now your greatest asset. The patience you learn will keep you steady. The discernment you developed will protect your decisions. The resilience you earned will guard you against future discouragement. You are not fragile anymore. There was a time when a single setback would shake your confidence for weeks. There was a time when criticism would silence your voice. There was a time when delay would convince you that you were forgotten. But look at you now. You endured waves that would have once drowned you. You navigated confusion that would have once paralyzed you. That growth is why something big could finally land in your hands. Archangel Michael says this season is about stewardship. Pay attention to what is placed before you. If a small opportunity appears, treat it with excellence. If a conversation opens unexpectedly, handle it with wisdom. If a new responsibility is assigned to you, carry it with integrity. Small faithfulness unlocks larger trust. Do not despise beginnings that seem modest. Sometimes the biggest shifts are disguised as ordinary tasks. A simple decision today may position you for a major breakthrough tomorrow. A single act of courage may open a chain of events that transforms your environment. There is also a relational shift occurring. Some people who once doubted you will begin to observe quietly. They may not apologize. They may not openly acknowledge your growth. What they will notice. Let your consistency speak louder than your words. There is no need to defend your progress. Archangel Michael reminds you that validation from heaven outweighs validation from people. Another layer of this unfolding involves your mindset about provision. For a long time, you operated from survival mode. You calculated every move carefully, fearing loss. You hesitated to dream big because disappointment had trained you to expect less. That survival mindset is dissolving. You are transitioning into a mindset of trust. Trust does not mean recklessness. It means confidence that you are guided. It means knowing that you are not walking alone. Archangel Michael's presence symbolizes that guidance is active, not distant. Protection surrounds not just your outcomes but your process. You may feel called to take a bold step soon. It might involve applying for something you once felt underqualified for. It might involve initiating a conversation you postpone. It might involve restructuring your priorities to align with your calling. When that prompting comes, do not ignore it. Momentum favors movement. There will also be moments where you must choose discipline over comfort. Sustaining something big requires structure. Organize your time wisely. Guard your energy carefully. Protect your focus intentionally. Distraction is subtle, and it often appears harmless. But in seasons of growth, distraction can quietly delay progress. Stay anchored. Archangel Michael declares that you are entering a stretch of clarity. Confusion that lingered for months will begin to fade. Decisions will feel simpler. Paths will feel clear. Doubts will lose intensity. This clarity is part of the gift. And understand this, the blessing is not fragile. It does not depend on perfect conditions. It is supported by divine authority. That is why you do not need to obsess over every detail. Do your part faithfully, and trust the rest. Something big is not fading after its arrival. It is expanding. The next revelation will uncover how this expansion affects not only your present but your long-term direction. It will connect this moment to doors that extend beyond what you currently imagine. Stay attentive, because the unfolding story is about to stretch your vision even further. Determined soul, what is happening now is no longer subtle. The expansion that began quietly is starting to reveal its structure. Archangel Michael is making it clear that this is the stage where vision stretches beyond what you originally imagined. What felt like a single answered prayer is unfolding into a broader assignment. You may begin to see connections forming between areas of your life that once seemed unrelated. A skill you developed years ago is suddenly useful again. A contact you met casually is now strategically important. A lesson you learned through hardship is becoming guidance for someone else. Nothing was wasted. This is divine integration. Archangel Michael reveals that the something big coming to you was never meant to stand alone. It is a gateway. Behind it are additional doors. Behind those doors are new territories. Your obedience did not just unlock one opportunity, it activated a sequence. That is why focus is essential now. Distractions will attempt to multiply. As growth increases, so do invitations. Not every invitation is aligned. Some will appeal to ego. Some will appeal to comfort. Some will look impressive but lead nowhere. Discernment must guide you. If something disrupts your peace, pause. If something feeds pride but weakens purpose, reconsider. You are building something sustainable, not something flashy. Archangel Michael emphasizes long-term vision. Ask yourself where this path leads in 5 years, not just 5 days. Consider the impact of your decisions on your integrity, not just your image. When you choose depth over display, you secure stability. There is also a financial and practical dimension to this shift for many of you. Resources may begin to align differently. New streams may open. Old limitations may loosen. Do not mishandle increase. Manage wisely. Plan thoughtfully. Save intentionally. Invest carefully. Prosperity is preserved through stewardship. Remember, something big requires structure to hold it. Emotionally, you may notice confidence growing steadily. You speak differently now. You carry yourself differently. You think differently. That internal shift is as important as any external reward. Archangel Michael calls this inner authority. It is the quiet assurance that you are where you are meant to be. But remain humble. Gratitude keeps doors open. Arrogance quietly closes them. Continue acknowledging the source of your elevation. Continue seeking wisdom before making major moves. Continue listening when guidance comes softly. If this message is strengthening your clarity right now, do not remain silent. Like this video so others can encounter this confirmation at the right time. Share it with someone who is on the verge of stepping into their own expansion. Write in the comments what door you believe is opening for you. Subscribe if you have not already, because this journey is unfolding step by step, and you do not want to miss the next alignment. And if you feel led to stand deeper with this mission, join the membership and become an active part of this spiritual movement. Your engagement is more than support. It is partnership in purpose. As momentum continues, expect refinement. Growth exposes weak structures. If certain habits cannot support your next level, they will surface for adjustment. If certain routines are draining your productivity, you will feel the need to change them. This is not regression. It is optimization. Archangel Michael declares that you are being positioned for influence. Influence does not always mean visibility to millions. It means meaningful impact where you are planted. Your words will carry reassurance. Your decisions will carry weight. Your consistency will inspire trust. This is why your foundation had to be strengthened first. Something else is unfolding beneath the surface. Your perception of time is shifting. What once felt urgent now feels patient. What once felt distant now feels possible. You are no longer chasing outcomes desperately. You are moving with calm expectation. That calm expectation is powerful. It signals maturity. It signals trust. It signals readiness. Hold on to that posture, because what is about to unfold next will stretch your faith even further. The doorway you step through is leading into a corridor of greater responsibility and greater reward. And the next revelation will show you how this expansion connects to a calling that extends beyond personal success. Stay attentive. The unfolding is not complete yet. Courageous spirit, you are now standing in a place that once felt unreachable. Not because everything around you is perfect, but because everything within you is stronger. Archangel Michael is revealing that this stage of your journey is about alignment with calling, not just comfort with blessing. What began as a promise of something big arriving has matured into a revelation of purpose expanding. There is a reason the growth has felt layered. Heaven does not elevate randomly. It elevates intentionally. And intention requires alignment. You may notice that your desires are shifting. Goals that once consumed you may no longer feel fulfilling. Achievements that once defined success may now feel incomplete. This is not dissatisfaction. It is evolution. You are being stretched toward impact rather than image. Archangel Michael says the next phase of your life will be marked by meaning. Not service recognition, but substance. Not applause, but assignment. The reason something big came to you is because something bigger must flow through you. This is where many hesitate. Receiving is easier than releasing. Accepting blessing feels comfortable. Accepting responsibility feels heavier. But understand this clearly. The blessing and the assignment are connected. One prepares you for the other. You have been strengthened privately so you can serve publicly. And service does not always mean a stage. It means influence where you are placed. It means wisdom in conversations. It means integrity in leadership. It means compassion in decision-making. Look closely at how people are responding to you lately. Some are seeking your advice. Some are drawn to your stability. Some are watching your consistency. That is influence. It may not feel dramatic, but it is powerful. Archangel Michael emphasizes that this influence must be guarded carefully. Stay rooted in truth. Stay anchored in humility. Stay aware of your motives. When influence grows without character, collapse follows. But when character leads, stability increases. You may also experience moments of reflection where you look back at your past struggles with new understanding. Situations that once felt unfair now make sense. Closed doors now look protective. Delays now look strategic. This clarity is a gift. Clarity prevents bitterness. Something else is emerging. Your confidence is no longer loud. It is steady. It does not need validation. It does not need constant reassurance. It stands calmly. That is maturity. Archangel Michael calls this grounded authority. Grounded authority allows you to walk into rooms without shrinking and without boasting. It allows you to speak when necessary and remain silent when wisdom requires it. It allows you to move decisively without arrogance. This is the inner transformation that makes something big sustainable. You are also becoming more sensitive to alignment. When something feels wrong, you sense it quickly. When something feels right, peace confirms it. This discernment will guide your next steps. Do not ignore it. It is part of the upgrade you received. The shift that began on May 3rd is still unfolding, but now it is extending into long-term direction. Opportunities that appear in the coming weeks may shape your path more than you expect. Stay attentive. Stay prayerful. Stay wise. Archangel Michael assures you that protection continues. Just because the breakthrough arrived does not mean battles disappear entirely. But you will face future challenges with a different posture. You will not panic the way you once did. You will not collapse under pressure the way you once might have. You have been fortified. And here is a truth you must embrace fully. You are no longer waiting for something big. You are living inside it. The shift has already begun. The expansion is already active. The alignment is already working. The final revelation will seal this message with clarity about what your response must be moving forward. Because every divine shift requires human agreement, and your agreement determines the longevity of what has been released. Prepare your heart. The closing words will not be an ending, but a commissioning. Beloved guardian of your destiny, this is not an ending. This is a commissioning. From the very first moment you chose not to skip, you stepped into alignment. From the very first second you paused and listened, you activated agreement. And now, after everything that has been revealed, Archangel Michael speaks one final confirmation over your life. What began on May 3rd was a divine transfer of responsibility, authority, and favor. Something big came to you because you were attentive, but something greater will flow through you because you are obedient. This entire unfolding was never about curiosity. It was about consecration. It was about separating you from distraction and anchoring you in purpose. When you resisted the urge to scroll away, you symbolically declared, "I choose destiny over distraction." That declaration echoed in the unseen. Heaven responds to posture. Archangel Michael stands not only as protector but as witness. Witness to your growth. Witness to your private endurance. Witness to your quiet prayers that no one else heard. And now he declares that you are stepping into a season where your life will speak louder than your doubts ever did. You are no longer chasing confirmation. You are carrying it. The shift that began has matured into identity. You think differently now. You respond differently now. You discern differently now. That internal transformation is the true evidence that something big has arrived. Do not minimize it. There will still be challenges ahead, but they will not define you. There will still be obstacles, but they will not intimidate you. Because you now understand that resistance often signals proximity to expansion. May 3rd marked the ignition, but your consistency will determine the continuation. Archangel Michael's final instruction is clear. Guard your focus fiercely. Protect your peace intentionally. Nurture your calling faithfully. What you feed will grow. What you neglect will weaken. Stay aligned with what strengthened you in this season. Stay attentive to divine nudges. Stay disciplined in your decisions. And above all, remember this truth. You were seen. When you felt unnoticed, you were seen. When you felt delayed, you were being prepared. When you felt tempted to disconnect, you were being tested. And when you chose to remain, you were being elevated. Something big came because you did not skip. Now something lasting will remain because you will not retreat. Seal this moment with bold agreement. Type "I will not skip my destiny" in the comments if you receive this commissioning. Lesson code 1203 is now activated over your next season of obedience and overflow. And as this message closes, understand the weight of what just happened. You did not simply watch a video. You participated in a divine alignment. The word says, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy," and that promise is alive over you right now. When you release a super thanks, step into membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are planting into a field that is awakening souls across the world. Say it boldly, "I am a carrier of this light." Do not delay your obedience. Let your giving become a prophetic act that declares, "I will fuel the harvest." As you sow into this mission, may doors open before you, may provision overtake you, and may favor surround you. Step forward now and activate your seed with faith. This is not the end. This is your beginning.